This is important because it's not just about our industry. No matter what industry you're in, your customers are the main characters of the stories that you're trying to tell. Garrett Finkelstein, welcome to the first podcast, our first podcast of 2026, the How They Crushed It podcast, sponsored by the place where we both work, Direct Mortgage Loans, brought to you today. We want, and everybody, like we've always done, even though Garrett works in mortgages, we're going to talk more about business and things he's doing than we're talking about mortgages specifically. He's a marketer, so we'll talk some about that. But Garrett is the marketing director here at Direct Mortgage Loans. He's only been here 6 months, so I've only had the pleasure of working with him that long, but he's got a long career, not as long as the gray-haired guy's career, but a long career in marketing and mortgages. So without further ado, welcome, Garrett, to the How They Crushed It podcast.
Yeah, excited for the conversation. It's gonna be fun.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. I know you don't always love it. As a marketer yourself, I've heard you say you don't like being the one that somebody else has control of. So for a little bit today, I'm going to have control of the conversation. So I hope you can relax and jump into it, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
So Garrett, I like to always start these things off by asking the people that are here, and I've had people from all different industries, but you know, don't give us the whole little Garrett story when it comes to like where you were born. I mean, you can tell us that stuff. We're always love hearing it, but give us the Garrett Finkelstein. You get out of college, you want to get a job. Like, give us some of the backstory when here you are, a leader in your field now, but like, how did we get from Garrett, the college graduate at OU, and in this case, everybody, that's Oklahoma, to marketing executive and all the accolades you got? Give us some of that journey and how you got from that point to crushing it like you are now.
Yeah, for sure. And I got to start off by saying, like, the gray hairs are coming, right? Like they're in there. So just give it a little bit more time.
Fight them off, man. Fight them off.
And despite the gray hairs and the baby face, I am going on year number 14 in the mortgage industry, which is kind of crazy, really, to think about if you take a step back and look in the rearview mirror. But graduated from the greatest university of Oklahoma, 2012. My first job out of college was working as a video editor for a mortgage company. The joke back then, and I'm pretty sure it's gotten around because now people tell me my own joke, but that I didn't know that there were 2 G's in the word mortgage. When I first started,
one of my jokes, I mean, one of my sons works in mortgages, and I said he had no idea there was I always say that he didn't know there was a T. He could hear the G, the mortgage, but he didn't know there was a T in there.
Well, it was the University of Oklahoma, so don't give me too much credit for my intellect. But started as a video editor, graduated from Oklahoma with a video degree. Love the idea of telling stories through the medium of video. It was a medium, if you will, that I could take an idea and turn it into a reality, put it on a screen, and other people could enjoy. And so opportunity came up for me to start working at a mortgage company. The funny part was, the very first project I did there was Why You Should Rent and Not Buy, the day after I signed my very first apartment lease. And so I'm sitting there editing the thing, just going, what have I done?
What have I done? What do you mean? What have I done?
I signed a lease. I'm here. I am making a video on why you should buy a house instead of rent an apartment. After I just signed my lease for my apartment, I'm like, I should have listened to what I'm doing right now, and bought a house. And really in life, and we'll get into it a little bit, but in life, I bought my first house at 22, and what I've been able to do in that has spurred all of the passion for what I have today, and we'll talk about that. But worked in this marketing department for a couple months. Ultimately looked up the department around me.
Everybody's dream job, right, Garrett? When you're in college, to be editing videos for a mortgage company.
My junior year of college, I was a media intern for the Oklahoma City Thunder. It was the year that Kevin Durant, Westbrook, and Harden went to the finals and lost. Boy, would that have been a lot of fun. Yeah, for sure. To look up and be like, yeah, it's mortgages instead. Wasn't the exact path that I had planned. but it really set me up for who I am today, right? Looked up in the department, didn't see anybody else there. Leadership kind of came to me and said, "Look, you're the only one that's left. We can either go get somebody or you can take it." And I really took it from there. Grew a team up to 12 marketers on my team. Ran a mortgage company who did $6 billion in production. Had wholesale, retail, builder. You name it, we were doing it. Reverse mortgages, and so got this really expansive knowledge base in a really short period of time, where we're literally growing from the ground up new channels of business, and got to really see all sides of the mortgage business through doing that. um and quite honestly fell in love with it. 6 months ago joined DML, found a new home, have been beyond excited about being here, and the opportunities and challenges and successes that we're going to have and have had since I've been here. But yeah, really grew up, not learning it as I went, really and truly making mistakes, banging my head, learning from those mistakes and growing. And we grew in a very successful way at that previous company, and excited to do that here at DML.
And when you listen, you said something earlier I want to come back to because I think it's important. You said it was important from the early part of your career to tell stories.
Yeah.
And I've heard like any great marketer I've ever met in any industry, by the way, says that. Go a little deeper on that because I've had people that own different kinds of businesses that always come back to their main backbone of anything they do marketing wise is telling stories.
Yeah. Y- Um, it's a little bit ironic because a lot of times loan officers have main character energy. And we love that, right? That's what makes a really good salesperson. But the main character of every home loan transaction is our borrower and is our customer. A lot of times, we can you can drive by hundreds and hundreds of homes and neighborhoods and houses. But have you ever driven by any of those houses or neighborhoods and just stopped and thought about all the stories that are going on inside of each one of those individual houses? And the catapult that home ownership is for an individual, no matter what part of life that they are in. There's a story, there's a reason, there's a goal, there's like I said, a reason on why these people are in this market looking for a home. And a lot of times, those stories, and tending to them and caring to them throughout the process, will sometimes become your greatest success stories and the biggest feel good actions you'll do in your entire career.
In any in
And so,
I wanna stop you there because I like to always write things down that are like sound bites that I wanna remind myself later, but yeah, customers are the main character, everybody. No matter
yeah,
which industry, this is important because it's not just about our industry, no matter what industry you're in, your customers are the main characters of the stories that you're trying to tell. That's I mean, it's brilliant stuff, Garrett,
yeah.
and
And it's,
reminding
yeah,
ourselves of that grounds us, I think, in like, you can get lost in so many things in any business, in any job. But if you ground yourself in the fact that your customers are your main character, wow. I mean, that's
yeah.
big stuff.
Yeah, and it really starts to shift the way you look at the entire process of purchasing a home, the way you handle your clients, the way you communicate to them, the questions you ask. It's more than just, Look, I need your W-2s," right? It's, "What's the name of your dog? How big of a backyard does that dog need?" Right? Those are things that, yeah, a realtor's going to go and find out, but they're also part of the story of the financing and the mortgage that you're putting together for this family and their story that's going to continue and grow, after they've done business with you.
Yeah, and really listening to customers. And this again, this supersedes just the industry we're in, but really listening to your customers whenever you get the opportunity to, everybody, that's the stuff. That's where you find the most important stuff
Yeah.
to really focus on. And if the more you listen to customers in any industry, the more often you listen to your customers, the more you're going to be able to center yourself to deliver the best experience and therefore do more business. Because I
Yep.
think we all have to remind ourselves the better customer experience we deliver for that one customer we're working with today is the backbone of how we can get more business in the future because we learn
Yep.
from that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Great stuff. Great stuff. Look, you kind of your age, and not that I'm going to mention exactly how old you are, but like your 14-year career into 2026 is a. I thought about this before we came on today, and I didn't bring it up to you, but you kind of grew up in marketing
Yeah.
as Facebook, Instagram. I mean, your that window of your life mirrored the growth of those mechanisms. And while social's not the be all end all for marketing for every industry, in most industries, it's a pretty big part of what any successful company is using today to talk to customers. I mean, talk to me about how you grew up,
Yeah.
Facebook, and I haven't asked you this before because I'm older than you, but like Facebook and Instagram became part of the fabric of what we do as marketers as you were growing up and getting out of college. Is that true?
Yeah, I mean,
LinkedIn as
100%.
well, but
I,
LinkedIn as well.
I'll never forget creating a Twitter account while I was in a video class at school. But yeah, it's funny. It's been 6, 7 years now, probably. I'd have to go back and look to see when the actual lawsuit came out. But I remember when you used to run Facebook ads dependent on somebody's income. And you could, boy, were those RESPA violations crazy, of the things that you could do and track. But yeah, it's been great to be able to watch really the transformation that social media has allowed in the market, in the industry, not only from a branding, communication, social activity, utility, but all the way to just how people are taking that next level step to brand themselves, to create a following, a group of raving fans, um, and using this platform as a way to share their message, to share their value propositions, and
And tell
to
your story. And Garrett, tell your story.
yes, yeah, absolutely, tell your story.
Okay. And look, like you were saying, it's not, I mean, you build a brand, you do all these things by telling stories, though. And I love
Yeah,
that you're still centered on that because, look, everybody, what we do for a living, while very important, we believe that. And it is, it's the biggest purchase most people make. It's still not visual, typically. It's not sexy like showing a pizza. If you
yeah.
pizza place, it's not, it's nothing like that, but the stories are important.
I'll put it this way, yeah, really a little nugget, if you will, right? When YouTube started taking off, we would always tell loan officers, and even at a company level, we every video that we made was a lure out there in the pond. And while we were sleeping, that video was available. While we were working, that video was available. And I would tell you that years and years and years later, after doing a video, if you look at our web network, analytics, you would see that that video is still being watched. People are still getting to our sites from the work that we did, the education that we provided on these platforms. And so, really and truly, yeah, you may be speaking into the void, and it may not show up day number one, but all it takes is somebody on their phone scrolling and swiping up, and the algorithm picking you, and you're on their feed, you're on their screen, and you're presenting to them. And so the the field that opened up from just simply creating content um is tremendous. It's a there's no better time that can be almost no better time that can be spent than feeding the machine.
And Garrett, since you're kind of an expert, or I say kind of, you are an expert, talk to, again, not just our industry, but any industry, talk a little bit about like what these days can cause something to go viral, since that's the thing anybody that even markets a little always wonders, like, how can I get something to go viral? And by the way, is it even really important as a marketer to have something go viral, or is consistency more important than one big viral hit?
Yeah, I mean, consistency is going to be key, right? That has never changed. Virality, boy, if I had an answer for you, I would be fighting Logan Paul, on a Netflix deal for $100 million, and lose very badly, but I would be there, for 100 million. Uh, Staying current, look, really and truly, it's put your spin on it. I think that virality is it's there's no there is a formula, I'm sure, right? But that only happens once a following is achieved. How do you go viral out of nowhere? It's putting your spin on it. I think is really gonna be the key. Everybody can give 101s, do's and don'ts, education throughout the home buying process. Um, but who is coming up with the next big idea, and who is presenting it in a way that the masses will grab, and attract. We're in the mortgage business. We're not in the most sexiest business. Virality is probably a pretty difficult thing to achieve when talking about a 30-year
But
mortgage.
those that are having the most success are being their authentic selves
And they're having the most fun.
when they use these mediums.
They're having the most fun. What is something that you want to watch? How are you entertained? And how can you bring that to the same message of 101s for mortgages, right? How can you
Everybody
put a
out
spin
there,
on
any
that?
industry, write this down. Tell stories, be yourself, and have fun. Let people see
Yeah.
who you are and have fun with it while telling stories.
Yep. Yeah,
That's
we
great.
we had a loan officer who wants to do some recipes, and it was like, hey man, recipes were 1990, right? We ain't doing those anymore. But what I would be happy for you to do is first time homebuyer cookie recipes, and we film ourselves making first time homebuyer cookies and give your recipe out that way, and put merge your interests with your business, have some fun, and you'll be pretty interested to see what comes out with that.
Don't try to talk like an announcer, everybody. Talk like you. By the way,
Yeah.
for better or for worse, this is the way I talk on a daily basis. It's like you got to be yourself on social in any
Yeah.
marketing you do. You
Yep.
can pull down Chat GPT will make graphics for everybody now. Everybody. I don't think that's new news, but they look like Chat GPT graphics.
Yeah.
They can't put your personality on it.
Yep. Yeah. I'm going to jump the gun a little bit and go to the third point because I think it's like super important in terms of like things that I'm doing right now. Right.
Yeah,
Um,
by the way, everybody, on this podcast, I always end with tell everybody out there the one thing you're doing right now that's helping you continue to crush it. That is, by the way, it's early February 2026. It's cold here in Baltimore. It's cold where Garrett is in Dallas. But let's go to it. What's the one thing
yeah.
you would want anybody in any business to take away that you're using that's helping you continue to be great?
I was baptized in relationship sales. And I don't think that I'm like necessarily breaking any news here that in the world of AI that is only going to get harder to figure out what is real, the most real things will be undeniable. And when it comes to relationships, what do you look at? You look at providing value. You look at doing it with people that you like, and you look at how can you do it the right way, effective and efficiently with that person. And so, really, I am focusing on value-driven tools to build relationships. How do you take your relationships that you have, go to the next level, minimize the amount of relationships you need to be successful in this business, and start having fun with those people. Do life with the people that you work with. That's the goal, right? Like, d- uh, do life, do work, do the things you want to do with the people that you want to do those with. So, identifying those relationships, identifying tools that our loan officers can use to dive deep, to provide value, to build systems, and to build efficiencies within those relationships is really where I'm looking to go. We can use AI to help benefit and to create some of the copy and content, but all of that has to be secondary to the relationship that we're building and the value that we're bringing. And so, how do you find tools that scale for our entire company that a loan officer can buy into, can grab a hold of, can take to their marketplace and to their relationships and go deeper, build a better pull through rate, get a better capture rate? Those are things that I'm looking at right now as we go into spring to start identifying who are those people that you want to go deeper with, and let's go build those relationships.
That's great stuff. Look, we're business people over here, everybody. We study what's going on out there and we try to keep ourselves current. AI is part of the fabric of what we do every day. It's a tool, it's a valuable tool. But Garrett's right. I mean, write this one down too if you're taking notes. Relationships can't be managed by AI, through AI. You still have to, I mean, face to face, getting to know people better, getting to know your customers better, your business relationships. Use AI as a tool, but don't think it substitutes for relationships. It does not. You know,
Um, I've got to pull this up because I had a friend send this to me today. There is a new thing going on all over the internet called Claude It's a personal AI thing. And this guy set up his Claude bot to text my wife good morning and good night every day. Also, casual how are you messages during the workday. 24 hours later is having full on conversations without me being involved. My wife seems happy. It might work for your wife, but you will end up on dates you did not book. You will be buying flowers you did not buy. But it's relationships, real connection. Those are the things that matter in our business, in our lives, and those are the things that ultimately unlock, you know, the happiness, the joy, the getting up and being happy to go to work every day.
Yeah, build it's somebody a business coach of mine years ago, Garrett, told me build relationships, and he told me to always write it down that way. Not that people write much anymore, but real relationship, not just a relationship, build a relationship. You'll know
Yeah.
there is a difference, and I think everybody out there knows that difference when you feel it. You know, when you evolve it from just somebody that might know your name to somebody that you've got common interests with, you've built that rapport with. You know, build relationships and use all these tools. You know, Garrett, this is great stuff, man. I purposely, even though we work together, we purposely didn't prep for this. And you're speaking my language, man. Telling stories, building relationships, you know, using the tools that are available to you, but staying authentically you. Guys
Yeah.
out there, any industry, this is the good stuff. This is Garrett is spot on. And despite being a good bit younger than me, he didn't get lost in the tech. He uses the tech, but he didn't get lost in the tech to substitute for what is most important. That's why he's so successful in crushing it. Any final parting words, Garrett, for anybody listening?
Man, look, go pull your referral partners. Can't pull your referral partners, you got a problem, right? Go pull your referral partners. Go make a list of your top relationships. Go make a phone call. Go send a text. I'm thinking about you, care about you, excited to continue working with you. Whatever that looks like in your life, take a minute after this, after you're watching this, just to send a quick text message. And look, I'm gonna get back to making 30 years of debt look sexy, and running DML, man. So it's fun.
Well, bud, thank you for taking the time, everybody. This is episode 1 of 2026 for the How They Crushed It podcast. Garrett is crushing it. I can vouch for my friend. And if you have anything you heard here today, you want to hear more about it, you want to talk to us, reach out. You mean wherever you're seeing this. I mean, it'll be posted on LinkedIn. We both are active users. Just send us a DM and reach out. We'd love to talk to you about it. We're in it every day. So, Garrett,
Happy
thank
to.
you, my friend. I appreciate you.
Yeah, man. See y'all later.
Talk soon. Bye, everybody. See you next time.